Morning, everyone. Trying to admit everybody and talk, so bear with me here. Okay. Thank you for joining us. With over 100 people registered, we see this is a huge interest and need to build and improve tracking systems for nutrition programs across Oregon. I'm Abigail Blinn. I work with Rogue Valley Farm to School as their procurement and nutrition manager in Southern Oregon, helping schools purchase food from our local producers. Melina Barker, the executive director of the Oregon Farm to School and School Garden Network, will be joining us later on and will be here for the Q&A portion of the webinar. We have two purposes of this webinar: helping schools across the state to manage and track Oregon and local purchases for claims reports for various farm to school programs, and to increase the accuracy of those tracking tracking systems that are made beyond the claims reports. So getting a better understanding of what's being purchased across Oregon. This is especially important because there's a huge focus nationally on the impact of local food purchasing incentives, also known as LFPIs. And based on current data that's been used for a multi-state USDA funding evaluation project, Oregon is currently not showing an increase in local purchasing due to the state incentive, which we know is not true. It's just nothing, like claims are not accurately representing that. So we cannot expect to sustain or grow the funding without accurate data that shows expanding. So I'm just going to mute people. Expanding local purchasing. So we'll hear from 4 nutrition directors across the state on how they track Oregon purchases. They'll share who they are, what school district they work for, what nutrition programs they're sponsors of, and how many students they serve. Each of them will have about 10 minutes to share, and then we'll open it up to questions. So feel free to share any questions in the chat as we go along, and we'll answer them at the end, or just wait until the end and raise your hand and what you can verbally share. There's various tracking systems used, including manual receipt tracking, nutrition software tagging, manual spreadsheet tracking. And there also might be others, so please don't feel shy to share your own systems during our Q&A. And we also understand that some of these systems may be different for schools of various sizes. We've attempted to get a variety of schools represented here, but if there are certain questions regarding how this may work for your particular school, feel free to ask those questions as well. And I'm going to pass it over to Debbie, and each of the nutrition directors will introduce themselves as we go along.
Hi, I'm Debbie Webster, and I am, oh, hold on. There we go. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So I'm with, hold on. Oh, there we go. It just flipped way through. Okay.
No worries.
So I'm with Rainier School District. We are about 45 miles north of Portland, Oregon, up I-5 and over just a little bit. We have about 850 enrolled in our district. With,
I'm sorry, the presentation isn't showing. Not sure what happened there.
All righty. Let me try that again. There, now do you see it?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. We serve about 600 meals per day, and we participate in national school lunch programs, school breakfast, CACFP, and after school snacks. So we pretty much run all of the different programs that are available out there. And when we do for farm to school, when we get our receipts, we get our receipt from Cisco. I don't know why my screen is not. Can you still see it unshared?
No, it unshared. Just went past that second slide.
Okay, so this is the slide I want to be on. It's shared. Okay.
It's not like centered. I think you're spreadsheet is off to the left there.
Is that better?
No, it looks like it's sharing just the background of your phone. Showing a very cute baby though.
It shares the wrong page. So that would be my grandson. He was 2 months old yet Wednesday. So okay, I'm gonna unshare and try again.
Of course, during our test, nothing.
It was beautiful. I had no problems. It did exactly, and I've done everything the same. Okay, let me do, I want that screen. There. Is that better?
Yep, that's better.
All right, so our first step is we get the invoice in from Cisco and our other vendors. So if I get something from a local farm, we take the invoice and mark it farm to school. We are tracking our farm to school, we're tracking our supply chain assistants and net op invoice. We color them in different colors. And then my admin assistant, she spends about 15 to 20 minutes on everything she does for invoices. So it's doing all of this per week. So once she does that, now I'm done with that screen. I want to show you guys. There it is. Hold on, I'm bringing it over. So this should look familiar if you've done farm to school. This is the claim that ODE provides us, and we download a new one every month. But throughout the year, I have her put everything on this unclaimed tab. Then I know what I have not claimed yet, and then each claim period, I will do a new tab. I do a copy paste. I hit move copy. I create a copy so that I can then rename that whatever claim date it is for myself. So I have a claim for each time, and then I delete it off of the unclaimed. Once I move it onto a claimed sheet, then I copy and paste it into the sheet that I send to ODE. That way I always know where things are. It's by date. I can sort it however I need to. I started after I met with some other directors in January last year, and we were talking about how we don't want as many wild mites showing up as far as our claiming. So I really focused hard after that meeting that yes, they're still farm to school according to our grant. So when we're doing our report at the end of the year, I want to make sure I have that someplace. Then I started sorting out those and tried really doing the things that are more the Yumi organic and the Kells, the items that are really our farm to school items that are really truly local, and trying to get our manufacturers or our farms as much as possible, trying to show that on the big report that they get from all of us every month. And then at the end of the year, when we need to do the final report, I take all of my claims, and I copy and pasted them onto one sheet that was all purchases. And then I'm able to copy and paste to each of the individual folders. So this has it has dairy, all the different spots that we have to report on our annual report in September each year. I have the dairy, the produce, the milk, and I just copy and paste from all purchases. I sort the whole thing. So first I went through and I highlighted, just so I would know kind of which claim they came from. Not something you have to do. That was just, I was curious. And then I copied and pasted by color so that I could make sure I got all the bread at one time. And so it's color coded so that I can quickly see it. And then the other part I did, I have a summary that has everything. So I just put my milk straight into my summary report so that I didn't have to put it into more than one spot. That's kind of what I do in a nutshell. Lynn, do you want to share what you do?
Sure, it's very similar. Okay, I need to reshare. There we go. Okay. So when we start out, we get the Cisco invoice and all of our invoices. And I break out what's breakfast items, snack items, farm to school items, that kind of thing, because I do it on a declining balance worksheet as well. So you can see F2S would be farm to school. And here is from my produce company, United Salad, same way. I also have local farm to school on there. And then I take that information, and if I'm on my other screen.
Hey, Lynn, while you're looking for your other screen, can I throw something in?
Yeah.
So on the this sheet, if you notice that the origin, they are listing what the origin is. So they actually tell us that it's Oregon or Washington, so that you can quickly see where it's coming from.
Yeah, over here on the
Yep, on the right side,
yeah.
or right kind of there in the middle.
And then
Sorry, go ahead.
no, and then I also take this and then I do my my, what do you call it? Where you have to purchase America. And if it's not purchased in America, then I do the exception stuff and I track that as well, like the Mexican jicama sticks and Costa Rica pineapple that you see there. Then I take that and I compare it with, this is a list that you can get from United Salad, the produce company, and that's the wrong screen. That one. They send this at the beginning of the month, so it also tracks your purchases and where they're from. You can see column B or column P. It says from California, US, Oregon.
I don't
And
think
then
I'm sharing the one that you were wanting. It still shows the receipt from.
oh, maybe I need to. Where's the receipt? Let me X that one out. Now what do you see? Whoops, I stopped.
No, it's nothing.
There.
There we go.
Okay. So then this is the report that I get once a month from the produce company, and it shows on column P there where the items are from. And like I said, I highlighted the Oregon purchases here. Then after that, okay, I'm going to X this out and try to switch to my next. Okay, so I use a similar form to the reporting one and to Debbie. We pretty much are talking in circles here. Hers is a little bit more detailed than mine. I just type everything into the different categories: unprocessed fruit, vegetables, processed fruit, vegetables, beef, pork, poultry. And then at the bottom of each page gives you the total pricing of what the amount of your purchases. And then I transfer that to the report that we are asked to do at the end of the year. This is very similar. I've deleted some of the columns from that other report, but it's very similar to the report, so it's easy to cut and paste.
And I believe if people don't have access to this template, we can share it after the presentation.
Yes, absolutely. And that's, oh, yeah, I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Lynn Shore. I'm from Willamina School District, and I have about 900 kids, and we serve about 500 breakfasts, 500 lunches. We are all CEP. And then I'm going to pass it on to Jill. Jill, you're muted.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jill Quadros. I am the Director of Nutrition Services at Eugene School District, so a little bit bigger than the last two school districts that we heard from. I have with me my grant accountant, Rhonda Beckler. We tend to have a little bit of a division of labor. I spend the majority of my time building relationships and building sourcing with farms, and Rhonda does most of the tracking. We have 32 kitchens. We serve approximately 4,000 breakfasts, 7,000 lunches, and we do run a CACFP program that, let me switch slides here. Forgot that I have two parts to do while I talk. Our CACFP program has not actually started, so you'll see in our screen that we're saying 150 daily, but we're going to be in the thousands starting on Monday. And so we wanted to acknowledge for everyone that we knew that I knew that I was using the exact same form that Debbie uses and Lynn. In fact, I think I remember that I got it from Lynn originally. And as Abigail said, we're going to provide this document to everyone after the presentations so that you can utilize it. But we all kind of utilize it a little different. So I'm going to let Rhonda talk about how she uses her form.
So a few differences. I've added a total page for all of my, I have all the tabs and I have a total page so that I know at the end, like right now at the end of the month, what we've spent since July on local produce. Now, we're not going to be able to claim all of that because we have purchased more, but it's good for the end of the year report and also just to see where we've purchased things. I've also added a column that has our invoice number so that made it a little bit easier when I put it onto our claim. So we've tried to just make it a mimic so that it's easier when I upload it. We've also, I've also added a line that I put what claim I put it on so that I make sure that I never have a duplicate because you can't claim something 2 times. And we've also tried to make sure that I'd really tried to feature our local farms more. I mean, we do have Emerald, which is a very large produce distributor in town, and they will write on there when they give us an Oregon product. So that is an Oregon product, but in order for us to showcase our farm to school dollars the most, we have tried to utilize and show that we are trying to work as much as we can with local farmers. And this is our tracking document, so you can kind of see how we have done it, and it just gives us a total of what we're purchasing.
So then Debbie talked on a little bit on what I keep telling folks to do, which is to really focus on, because it's really easy for us, if you think about it, it's easy for us to talk about our local pizzas or our tortilla chips or our tortillas or our umi noodles, which are all lovely products. But one of the things that I have found along in my journey is that folks who tend to fund us tend to listen maybe a little more astutely when we are doing very local purchasing. And so when we track on an ongoing basis, we can pull out data that is, like Debbie said, can really focus on that local farmer. So why track? It allows you to provide a total picture. It allows us to claim the smaller farmers versus the broadline distributors in a way that is a little easier. I'm not going to kid you, we all get the little chicken scratch receipt from the farmers, which can be easy to bypass when it's nice to pull from our broadline distributor, whether that's Cisco or US Foods, and we say to them, hey, send us everything we spent on umi tortilla chips and tortillas. And it makes our claims really simple, but it doesn't tell our whole picture. And so I knew we were all using the same form, but I wanted to take a minute to say how important it is to really focus on those farmers. And these tracking forms will allow for that. We've had a lot of media requests. In fact, last night we did the crunch, the farm to school crunch. And right before the event, one of the media outlets said, well, what farms do you use? And Rhonda was able to just cut and paste and send a list of farmers within 5 minutes. And so it provides easy access because it's just going to sit in your hard drive and you can go back to it and sort and move things around, cut and paste quickly. It supports an easy and thorough response. We've all just been asked for our USDA census. And so if you sort and provide information from your small farmers rather than your big broadline distributor products, USDA is going to start getting data that's valuable that may typically have fallen off of our reporting. And so I kind of wanted to put a plug in for that. It supports that easy and thorough response for this USDA census that we are all preparing to respond to this week. Additionally, doing this supports future funding. So reporting the small farmers and the fresh fruits and vegetables is, like Debbie said, a really great priority to make if you can. And then using by doing that, by using the snapshot of the whole tracking system to fill first those fresh fruits and vegetables, and then utilize any add-ons with your produced items after, really is going to make it known that we are all working really hard to also have relationships with those local farmers. So that's my presentation. I think I might have one more slide. I had questions, but I'll leave that till after.
Thank you. It doesn't seem like Katrina is able to join us. So we can just move on to the question and answers. Feel free to raise your hand, or there isn't too many people on here, so you can send it in the chat or unmute yourself if you have any questions. It can be about their process specifically, or about purchasing local in general. Yeah, feel free to ask anything that you'd like. Someone asked about the baseline report, and how that easily could be done, because that's kept them from using the farm to school grant program. Anybody want to take that one?
I track it the same way. I would go back to the previous year and track it the same way. And remember, that's the baseline report. It can be an estimate. It could be an educated guess, a very educated guess, but it still can be an estimate.
And you could also reach out to your current vendors and ask them for a velocity report from the previous year that has a local velocity report, and that could help you out. In the past, that was a real easy
Yeah,
report to
we
get.
just don't have a whole, we don't have a lot of staff that can dig back into all that. I have a little bit of time I could do like the Excel spreadsheets that you guys have, each week or each month that we get those. That would not be hard, but it's trying to figure out that baseline report. And the funding we would actually receive makes it financially wise to do. That's why we've never done it. So I was hoping this training or this webinar would kind of give some ideas of how to do it easily.
Erin, your baseline report can just be an estimate. Even if you put zeros, it's just a starting point. We understand that you may not have been tracking this stuff before participating in the grant. So just the best you can do, or even a little less than that, would be fine. And then I'm not sure if you're aware now, but our base grant amount, the minimum amount you can get, we've increased it from 500 to 3,500. And once that's spent, you can apply for more funds. So I just want to throw that in there.
Okay. That's good. I did not know that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely trying to incentivize those smaller grant program participants. Another question for Jill. Are you reaching out to local farmers that you know, or how are you hearing about them and their fresh products? Good question.
Yeah, great question. So I'm in Lane County, and so I really lean into my person that's Abigail. His name is Patrick Newson in my county. And Patrick and myself it's been 2 years that we've been working on this. A year ago, we put together a Hey Farmers, would you like to come and visit with the school district? And I invited my local school districts. I haven't had participation from my local neighboring districts, but I know that it's building traction. So I went in front of farmers. I think there was about 15 folks that Zoomed in that night. And we basically said, what do you grow and what would I commit to? And so I started committing a year ago to things that I would purchase. And you may have seen in my screen all of the different farms. We, I think, have 12 farms since September that we had spoken with last year, and that are now delivering the produce that they have grown. Abigail, tell me your title.
Yeah, it's a regional hub coordinator, and various regions across the state will have someone specific to your county or several counties surrounding it. So I serve for Jackson and Josephine counties, and we have direct relationships with producers and can kind of do that relationship building and getting the farm prepared to sell to schools and sort of what they need to do in order to connect with schools.
And so I'd leave my person to do all those connections with farms. He's spending all his time out there. And then once the farm starts working with me, then that relationship is between myself and the farm, and he's out looking for more. We spoke last night. He's found me some more Asian pears, for example. And so I would say, find out who your person is and lean into them to start building those bridges for you. And then it becomes annualized. I have farms that I've worked with annually now. And so we know when their stuff is coming, or we know what they're growing. There's a level of trust. And so they will grow crops, knowing that I will be there to purchase something that they try. And I'm not going to fib. I've lost crops. I didn't get my cucumbers that I was hoping for this year. I think it was either too high. I'm not sure how I lost them, but I didn't get my cucumbers. And so, here I go back to my produce company. And so you do have to be nimble. But at the same time, that regional hub person will start building those relationships on your behalf. That's what they're there for. And it's very nice. I wouldn't be able to do it without him.
Yeah, and Amy also put the link to the Oregon Harvest for Schools portal, which shows producers beyond your county, like throughout the whole state, of different products that they have. And it shows like women and indigenous owned companies, and really like a comprehensive, not fully comprehensive, but a good way to start finding producers too, as well as reaching out to your regional hub. There's also a question on here that just talked about being brand new to the system and not having a lot of staff, and asking about templates and such, but maybe either of you could speak to like what this was like when you first started tracking, and how it got easier over time, or address that challenge at all.
So with that, I put into the chat the link to the website, the ODE's website, and I basically take the template is from the do you guys want me to just walk through? I can share screen how to get to that link.
Yeah, that might be helpful.
Okay, so basically when I go to, let's see, it's on the screen. Hold on, I want to make sure I share the right screen this time. And it's gone. This one. Okay, so here can you see my website?
Yeah.
ODE's website. Is that what you can see?
Yeah.
Okay, I see nods. Let me go back a couple screens. So basically when you get to ODE's website, this is what comes up. This is the link I go to. If you go to the Farm to School Child Nutrition Programs, that's where you're going to find all of everything farm to school related that ODE has to offer for us. And if you go to the Oregon Farm to CMP grant, this is where all the different grants are. So you've got the main one that we're talking about is our CMP non-competitive grant. And then we also have the reimbursement grant. So the non-competitive is where everyone receives up to that $3,500 and higher, depending on the size of your district. When you go in there, if you scroll down, there's the resource for claims. If you click that, there's your claim form. So that's basically the form I use It didn't open up. It opened up over here. Hold on, let me bring it over. Oh. Excel decided to get cranky. Hold on. So now my Excel is not working, but it's if you open up that Excel spreadsheet,
And just
then
minus that web page and it's behind it. I see it.
I
Minus-
can't. I'm
Minus
frozen.
the web page.
I know, but my computer's frozen.
Oh.
So it's not letting me do. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's still frozen, but it's that time. It's that spreadsheet that I showed you earlier. Is basically what comes from that ODE website. So basically we're just using the basic template that we received from ODE. So hopefully that's helpful. And also one other thing is as you spend down all of your funds, there is the reimbursement grant. And so all the information about that is right here. So if you spent all of your farm to school money, you can request more funds.
You do have to get that other one to exactly 0 first.
Correct. You have to zero out first and then you can receive more funds. Okay.
And
Any
someone
other
asked on,
questions?
someone asked on here how they're totally new to this, like how often do they turn in claims? It looks like Amy is taking those questions. Thank you, Amy.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not a real requirement, but maybe everyone can share how often they do this tracking, or how often they submit claims.
I do it monthly.
We do it monthly.
I do it every couple of months. Just depending on the time of what I have going on.
Thank you. Any other questions coming up for people?
Don't let it intimidate you.
Yeah.
I'm like I said, my district's 900 kids, so it's not huge, it's not itty bitty, but I don't have any assistants or anything like that. And I actually work for 2 districts, so I'm like have 1,800 kids, and I do this twice, once for each district, and it's not as time consuming as you think or as it looks. You got this.
Agreed. Don't be shy. Try it once. Once you get in there, it's easier than it looks from the outside. At least when you touch that ODE website, it always feels scary. But absolutely jump in for the first time and see how it goes. Even if it's just a highlighter in the receipts, it still works. Just give it a shot. That first $3,500 might just change your world.
Someone asked about like having a contact person. Does that person want to unmute themselves and share a little bit about their situation? Maybe where they're located?
I finally figured out how to unmute.
You're good.
So when I went in to apply for the grant, it asked for a bunch of information that I don't have. Because we actually lost our finance manager as well as our principal and a few other key members. So I'm really coming in this very confused, not knowing anything to do. So I was hoping to get a phone number of somebody maybe I could talk to offline that could help.
Don, you can email me.
Yeah, Amy will be your point person for those types of
I'll
things.
put my email in the
All
chat.
right, thank you so much.
Amy, if you want to introduce yourself, I'm not sure if you
Oh, yeah, I'm Amy Lorman. I know all the faces I see, I know who you guys are. So, I work on the farm to school grant for ODE. So, I'm that person. So,
All right, if you guys would put your emails in the feed would be great.
thanks
And
for-
Amy is an amazing resource, just so you all know.
Yeah,
someone
definitely.
that reviews all your claim sheets that you submit and tells you what you need to do or not to do or
Well, you sound like the perfect person then.
I am the perfect person. I'm a perfect person.
What
Just
district
recommend
are you
us-
at, Don?
I'm District 21, but we're actually only sponsored by District 21. We are a small charter school that's nonprofit. So although we're sponsored, we don't really, I don't know how to explain it. But anyways, we're kind of on our own in a way.
What's the name of your school?
Mosier Community School.
Okay.
Any other questions? Now's your chance. Okay, well, thank you everybody for your time and engagement, and thank you to the presenters. Ending a little bit earlier because we initially had two other presenters today, but they weren't able to join us. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us and Amy and Melina as well on this call. So yeah, we can end here. If there aren't any other questions.
Thank you, everybody.
This is nice. Okay. Bye for now. You'll have more of these. Will you have another one?
This is it for I'm going to stop recording. Sorry.